guys, welcome to Bridget's Cannabis Corner. I'm your host, Bridget Ward. Thanks for joining me today, guys. We have a super exciting show. We're going to interview Dr. Dhanabalan today. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. She's one of my favorite all-time speakers and physicians, you guys. So I'm just going to keep an eye out here. She's going to pop in with us. Hey, Brixie, Daniel's in the house, Michelle's in the house, Sharon's in the house. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Daniel. Rourke is in the house. James Moon is in the house. Auntie Diana's in the house. Hi, Auntie. Hi, James Moon. Thanks for joining me, honey. Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you, sister. So we have a super exciting story today, guys, and I'm just kind of waiting. Okay, here, sweetie, we need to, you need to keep an eye on those comments for the green one when it says uplifting health and wellness. Okay. As soon as they pop in here, guys, we'll get them on screen. You guys are going to love Dr. Uma. She's so beautiful inside and out. I could listen to her speak literally 24/7. So I'm just going to shoot them a message really quick. Hey, Stacy's in Boston. Hey, that reminds me, Stacy, why don't you guys tell us where you're checking in from today? You know, the more comments we get, the better. Make sure you like and share this, because the more people that hear this information, the better. We need cannabis taken off the Schedule I drug list, you guys. And I want to make sure everybody can hear me okay, too. I'm watching the screen really closely here. And my computer doesn't give me... Dewey says, free the weed. George says, love Dr. Uma. She's just amazing. Did you get my message? No, I have not, James. It could be because I've been super busy and haven't had a chance to check. Okay, it looks like Dr. Uma says she's in. Let me see. Do you see me live? I want to know where you guys are checking in at today and what you're smoking on. And if you can't be smoking anything today, what would you like to be smoking? I'm not going to be smoking during this show because this is a professional show. I try to make sure part of our mission is to break the stigma that cannabis is a bad thing. So we want people to see that even us professionals who totally blow what a typical looking stoner would look like, that's what we want to break. This is what a stoner looks like, everybody. We are hardworking people who contribute to society just as much as people who don't smoke. Okay, hold on, I think they're calling.
Yeah, they need to join the video. So
okay.
Into the video.
I'm going to tell them how to do this here. This is kind of new for a lot of people on how to do live here. Just make sure you keep an eye on that screen, and I'm sending. Watch. I cannot. Sorry, I can't answer the call because it will kick me out of here. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep.
Hey, can you invite her?
I don't know. How do I? Let's see here.
Let me see what it does.
Yeah, try to add.
Yeah.
You're gonna type in uplifting health and wellness. So we're gonna just try and send them. Okay, they said they just popped into. We're gonna try and send them an invite. Thanks for your patience, you guys. Did you just send it?
I tried to, but it won't let me.
Okay, so let's see here. There it is, right there.
Yeah, it won't let me click
so
on
you
it.
gotta click the invite there.
Try it.
Lower.
Oh.
So, okay, so we just sent an invite. Let's see what happens there. Sorry guys, I don't normally have my phone out during the shows, but we gotta make sure that this goes well. Hey Santa! Hey, Jim Boone is in the house. Steve is in the house, guys. I want to encourage you guys to comment on other people's comments as well, because this is a community. We all make friends. We're a big, giant family. So I've met some of the greatest people doing exactly this. So I encourage you, make friends. Say hello to people. Patrick's in the house. Hi, Patrick. Okay. So we've got a crazy week this week, you guys. So today we're interviewing Dr. Uma. Tomorrow we're doing a strain review on blurps. We're going to do a strain review on blurps. And then no High Day Friday, because we did High Day Friday last week. But Saturday we're going to be cooking with Al. So we're going to be busy here in the next few days. And I've got to work all weekend, so we'll juggle it between all that. So it says the invite was sent. Everything is good there. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. And you guys are always so very patient. Thank you. It might take us a second to get Dr. Uma in here, but we will for sure get her in here. Mrs. Claus is in the house, guys. Hi, Kim. We love you. We're glad you're on the mend.
Okay, so she is.
Okay, there we go. So, yep,
herself.
click on that. Bring that on camera. Add. We are adding Dr. Uma right now, you guys. Sharon's gonna be.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Uma.
Hello, Dr. Uma. All right, we're going to do it from my phone. For some reason, we set it up, and we're not. Okay, I think we're good. How about now?
Perfect.
Perfect.
You look beautiful as always.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to go ahead and introduce you a little bit. Can everybody hear us okay?
From my phone. For some reason, we set it up, and we're not. Okay, I think
I'm
we're
getting some reverb, so I don't know if it's. I'm going to turn my volume down.
Okay. How about now?
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay, Dr. Uma?
I can, and I can. It's perfectly clear for me. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you, but now you're tilted.
Okay, how about, is that better?
Perfect.
Okay, we're good. Sorry about all the confusion.
That's okay.
That's okay. You should see me most of the time. I'm the one having issues.
So,
what a pleasure to be here with you, Bridget, and have everybody here today.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Uma. You guys, Dr. Uma is a primary care physician. She is an MD. She's got her master's in public health. She belongs to the fellow American Academy of Family Physicians. She's originally from India, which I love. I have some very dear friends in India. Dr. Uma grew up in Jersey and has been in the U.S. for over 40 years. Dr. Uma has 18 years of medical research. That's with humans and animals. She has a family practice. She did her family practice residency in South Carolina, caring for patients from conception to death. So thank you so much, Dr. Uma, for joining us. I'm just honored to even be in your presence.
Oh, it's so amazing. I'm truly blessed and grateful to be able to do what I'm doing as well, Bridget. And I'm in lovely Massachusetts here in Natick at my office today.
I love Massachusetts. Some of my caregivers are up there.
When I first started here in Massachusetts, we didn't have any dispensaries whatsoever, and I think we're up to over 40 dispensaries now.
Yay, that's so wonderful. I have a lot of friends in that area, and they're telling me the same thing. They're just so happy to be allowed legal access to safe medication.
Absolutely. And, cannabis has been around for thousands of years, and many people don't know much about it, or the little bit that they do know, there's a lot of misconceptions and misinformation that's been given out there. And it's time that people actually get involved in understanding the information and understand how it could benefit them or somebody that they love and care for.
Absolutely. And Dr. Uma, because you're one of my favorite speakers, I watch you all the time. I'm at work, I got growers coming out of the room. They're like, what are you watching? I'm like, I'm watching Dr. Uma. Come here, listen to this. So one of my favorite things about you and what I'd like to ask is, can you tell us a little bit about the ECS and the 5 words that, according to Dr. DiMaggio, explains what the ECS is designed to do?
Oh, Bridget, this is one of my favorite topics, and I've had the pleasure of and honor of meeting Dr. DiMaggio, and I told him that, I use that as my mantra. So the ECS, as you mentioned, stands for the endocannabinoid system, and it's become one of my favorite systems in the whole body, and it's a mere 600 million years old. And only about 15% of the medical schools even teach it now. And that's one of the biggest problems is that, we learn about the cardiac system, we learn about the respiratory system, the reproductive system, and the endocannabinoid system is not taught about. And I explain it in one word, life. And you explain the 5 words that Dr. DiMaggio uses: relax, eat, sleep, forget, and protect. And the endocannabinoid system is about balance, homeostasis, as you say. And what we're learning is that if any one of those things is out of balance, we can have illnesses, or what we call as dis-ease. And so if a muscle is constantly twitching, or your nerve cells, in the case of epilepsy or seizures, is constantly firing too much, or the muscle just doesn't work, like an ALS, an imbalance. If somebody eats too much, obesity. If they don't eat enough, anorexia. If you sleep too much, you could be depressed. If you don't sleep enough, insomnia. If you forget too much, Alzheimer's, dementia. And if you don't forget enough, we talk about post-traumatic stress. And, I've said this jokingly, it's very important to remember as it is to equally forget things. Pain is one of those things that we want to forget, especially in childbirth. Protection, overprotection, we talk about autoimmune illnesses. And if your body is not able to protect, you're immunocompromised. So the words of Dr. DiMaggio, again, relax, eat, sleep, forget, and protect, are the mantras that we talk about when it comes to the endocannabinoid system.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that I preach about too. I work with a lot of veterans, and I feel like cannabis is really important for PTSD because our brains are designed to forget. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if we remembered every little bit of information that comes into our brains, I don't think we would be able to function.
Not at all. It's very important that you bring up the point about what people have to understand about this, and each one of these points are important to somebody in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. And okay, I'm being told that my reverb on my end is horrible. So I'm gonna try and turn this off really quick. Sorry. Technical difficulties. I'm gonna take this off. I won't be able to hear anything. So I'm gonna shut this off and see if it helps.
Does that make it any better?
I think so. I am. What do you guys?
I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I messed up. There's a lot of reverb. Can you turn it?
now I'm kind of having you break up a little bit.
Let's try to turn the volume down and see if that helps at all.
Okay.
Does that seem to help?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect. So speaking of the use of cannabis, what should we be using cannabis for, Dr. Uma?
You know, it's care physician. One of the things that really was a part of my life that changed was I started to understand that in the hospital we were treating only ill people. And there was a point in my life I decided that I really wanted to understand the importance of preventative health. And that's the journey that brought me to Massachusetts in 1998 when I did my master's in public health and decided to follow my second life in occupational medicine. And a lot of people don't realize that under preventative health, there's three subspecialties. There's public health, there's occupational environmental medicine, and aerospace medicine. And a lot of people say aerospace, why? And what we learned is that certain professions are more prone to certain illnesses and certain diseases than others. And this is what really fascinated me about work and the environment and why we are seeing so many different types of diseases and cancers. And I really got involved in preventative health. And it's interesting because if somebody had ever told me that here I would be, you know, 20 years later after doing my master's in public health and now getting more involved in using cannabis, and I use it for three aspects. Initially, my patients come in to see me as using cannabis for treatment. And I have patients here that I've been seeing now for 5 years in Massachusetts. And these patients maybe came to me initially for getting a card, but now what they understand is Dr. Uma is teaching me, she's educating me, she's embracing me and empowering. And those are the three words that we use here. And what we teach is that it's about maintenance and prevention. And that's what this is about. I am 57 years young almost. And the way I look at this is I'm going to another part of my life. My dad's 85. My son and my daughter-in-law are 30. And so understanding that the preventative aspect is so, so important. And cannabis is a plant, and we know that it has over 500 different chemicals, and it's got over 140 different cannabinoids, and the government has a patent for cannabinoids, all of them, and it states as an antioxidant, and guess what? Neuroprotectant, not neurotoxic, but neuroprotectant. And they clearly know that it is preventative for Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, just to mention a few things. And what I realize is if our patients are able to relax, eat, sleep, forget, and protect, we are eliminating or at least able to improve their quality of life and definitely prevent certain illnesses for sure.
And that I think is one of the things that people don't realize is that cannabis can be used as a preventative medicine. And it can help rebuild the brain cells, and it can help, stop the Alzheimer's dementia. It can not only be a cure, but it also can give people a better quality of life.
Absolutely. And this is what it's about, as a primary care physician, that was my whole thing. I help people get pregnant, and I still do. And I help people die. I mean, this is the spectrum of life, birth to death. And at the end of the day, no matter who you are or where you are, we're all going to die. And I feel it's very important to let people die with dignity. That's what I would want, and that's what I would want for my patients. And what we're realizing is right now, there are patients that are coming to me with cancer, and different stages of cancer, and patients that have had cancer and never want that cancer to come back again. So we're using it in those cases for definitely maintenance, and definitely we're using it for treatment and again prevention for a reoccurrence or metastasis.
Absolutely, and it can also help with the treatment. People who choose radiation or chemo. It can also help with the side effects for cancer treatment.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you brought that up because, in the 80s when I first was really understanding that how Marinol was created, which is a synthetic drug from one molecule, THC, and that's what they did. They created a synthetic molecule knowing very clearly that THC is what helped the patients for their nausea, for their vomiting, for their anorexia, and also treatment. And I'm going to say that it's treatment, and there are certain cancers that it can cure, depending on when we catch it and what the stage and many other factors. But it is absolutely used in conjunction with chemotherapy, the radiation. We know the side effects, and just for them to be able to cope with it, it can be used as a pre-treatment. And they're, again, preventative because they know they're going to get the nausea. They know they're going to not feel well. Their appetites are down. And with our anorexic patients, with our patients with HIV, with AIDS, and the list goes on, and how it can be used.
Bringing up the Marinol, my daughter had brain surgery 8 years ago. We brought her back from surgery. She was wheelchair-bound. She could barely. She had totally lost the ability to write. And they were with Marinol, but it confuses me on how they can prescribe the Marinol. They say, yes, this is healing. This does have aspects of it that can people. Why is it so vital that cannabis be taken off of the drug list?
I'm so glad you're bringing this up, and you brought up the part about Marinol. So let's talk a little bit about this. Marinol is a synthetic drug that is made in a pharmaceutical company, and every time you get that pill, it's the same drug dosed out. With the plant, it's a plant. I use the analogous of if you get a strawberry, every strawberry is not identical. It doesn't have the same number of seeds on it. Even though they taste delicious, it's not identical. So in the case of the plant has so many different cannabinoids in it, and it has flavonoids, it has terpenes, it has fatty acid, it has so many components in it. And cannabis right now is in Schedule 1, and it was placed there in 1970, the year I came to this country, when we created OSHA, the DEA, and the Controlled Substance Act. And what they did by placing it in Schedule 1 was to say that there was no medical use, no medical research, and a potential for abuse. So let's get the facts straight today. The facts are nobody has ever overdosed. Zero. What part of zero is not evidence? Dr. Uma would love people to give me that answer. They keep saying we don't have evidence. Well, when you say nobody has died in the whole world, and you may feel like you're dying, but you're not going to die because the bodies